we face. Yeah.
That was a while ago. I don't
Okay, we're
remember.
live.
Let's go.
Oh, we're live? Okay, hold on. I've been in incognito mode for a while, so let me I have my notes over there. Yeah, I heard it's like a lot cheaper if you like look at travel plans on incognito, because if you look at it on normal browsing mode, they start hiking it up because they know you're looking for it. It's a little insider info I've learned out here.
I told you that, didn't I?
What? Dude, I can't hear
I
shit.
told you that.
Whatever. Even if you did, fuck you. I heard it out here and it's stuck. All right. So, do you want to do the intro and then like I come in after, or should I just do the intro?
You're gonna turn this off so we're not distracted.
Yeah, you can just do the intro.
Me?
Yeah.
It's gonna be limited back and forth in this podcast. All right. Are we ready? Jesus Christ, it's such a bad delay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wait, I'm gonna hold up my fingers. Tell me how delayed it is.
You want to try to?
3, 2, 1. How delayed was that?
That's easy.
It's like 2 seconds or so.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll just treat you as like our correspondent.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna say over after everything I say. All right. Let's go. All right. So I'm back. Hope you missed me a little bit. The technical difficulties are definitely going to be here during this podcast, but it's going to be good. I'm a foreign correspondent today. Ryan, Noah, Kev, the trio back in action. Kind of a bad time for us to stop doing podcasts because a lot was going on, but we're going to recap it all today. Game show, lifestyle section, all that good. All right, so like we kind of mentioned in the intro, there's about a 6-second delay from East Coast to West Coast. So we will see how this goes. But guys, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Yeah, I'm also good.
Happy Kawhi's out of the East.
Okay, crazy. I am too, but we're gonna have to. I'm gonna make you wait on basketball, Brown, because this is wait. What? Why are you laughing, Ryan? I feel like this is going like swimmingly so far.
Yeah, really.
The delays are pretty funny to us because of our awesome electronics here. But to start things off, Noah, just one very important video we have to ask you about.
Yeah, what's up?
Is the small complex guy. Bagel shop in Long Island.
Okay, I have a question for you
Reactions?
guys. Okay, now my question is, how tall do you think that guy was?
He's said it in like past videos. That he's like,
I think
I'm 4'11", 5 foot.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 foot.
Oh, I thought when you originally sent it, he was like 5'8", and I was like, damn, that's like a very tough look. But no, he's 5 foot. I mean, I get the man struggle. As a man who's been on Tinder before in my life, I felt the need to put 5'8" on there, but I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty bad at handling my 5'8" self in public, so I kind of get this guy's struggle, but I hope I'm a little bit better than that, at least most of the time. But like I said, I respect the struggle.
Oh, for sure.
You have something to say about it, Kev? You're the one that brought it up.
No, I just wanted to get Noah's reactions.
Yeah, okay.
All right, wait. I have a question to you guys. I think we should do you guys should do a pod, and then I should just be on for a segment, because if like this is the delay for the whole pod, it's gonna be like so tough. You know what I mean?
Should we try like you host?
Let's just talk baseball with you, and then we'll cut you off.
Okay, yeah. But I also have
should
game
we try
show.
just like hosting? Should you Wi-Fi?
What?
So did you try like hosting the hangout?
I don't know if that'll change it, but yeah.
So if we do a little bit more B talk and then you do game show, that'll be a good transition into me and Ryan.
Okay, true. I wrote so much in NBA though, but all right, I'll have to keep those takes for next year. Okay, Ryan, let's talk some baseball then. So it was a little stretch I have been anticipating. I mean, you're here, but like I assume you're just going to be like looking at your phone, acting like half interested, kind of like normal. So I said just Ryan, but if you want to butt in, Kev, we'll be more than happy to listen to your takes. So it was a little stretch that I've been waiting for like 3 years. All-Star game at Progressive Field in the Home Run Derby. Home Run Derby was absolutely incredible. We'll start there. That reminded me so much of the Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon dunk contest, where like these two guys were just going back and forth, and it wasn't like super like big names in the league or anything, like Jock and Vlad. But it was super dope, and I've been like been the number one guy promoting Vlad in the Derby since he came up, and I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Just saying.
Yeah, it was probably the best home run derby I've seen. I mean, Josh Hamilton in 2008 was like great and all, but like that was just him hitting. This was like two guys going back and forth. The swing offs were incredible because they just kept going. I honestly, like at some point, I thought they were just never gonna break their tie because they were both so tired at some point. But yeah, and Vlad, like people who are like, oh, Vlad shouldn't be in the home run derby because he only has 8 home runs, just know absolutely nothing about baseball or anything because he's literally the most like prototypical home run hitter I've ever seen, and he was like perfect for the Derby.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen Joey Gallo in it too. I mean, he had a home run in the Derby or in the actual All-Star game. A lot of people thought he should have been an All-Star, but I think maybe he was injured or something. Yeah, but Vlad just looks like a really fat, like 15-year-old, and somehow just like tanks everything like 480 to left. He hit balls that I've never seen hit up there more than like 2 times in my life. Mike Napoli and Manny Ramirez, the only people that have hit it up there, as well as like probably some opposing players, but whatever. I don't like count that. So yeah, that was super fun. The All-Star game, I liked it, and I heard a lot of like old people saying they loved it too, but like everyone else said it was boring because it didn't have like the flash and so many home runs. But it was like a good actual baseball game. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, it was a good game. Obviously, the miking up the players was really, really good for baseball. Very enjoyable. But like from a game standpoint, I thought it was good. But I was also kind of confused because like this entire year has been about hitters just like crushing balls being juiced, and then the pitchers just pretty much dominated this game. Like until like the later innings, like no runs were really scored.
All right, can we talk about how the PLL started this mic'd up players movement? And how all the media is like, oh, baseball did it. They're the first ones. Like, come on, guys. I need Ryan first and then Noah to formally address our listeners and say PLL started this movement.
I'm actually no, they didn't because the All-Star game has done this for at least 2 years now. I believe it started in Miami in 2017, maybe even before that. And by my calculations, the PLL has existed for about 30 minutes. So, no, I actually don't think they did, Kev.
Yeah, but what's all this rave coming from? Like, all the media is like, MLB, like, finally giving players, like, guys, give us some respect.
Yeah, I was going to say what Ryan said. I mean, it's clearly not the PLL. Miking up players is pretty cool, so I'm happy that the PLL does it. Like, good for you and whatever. By the way, Kev, shout out PLL. Really packed Audi Field last week. It looked like there was about 45 people there. So that's pretty big for you guys. Yeah, but I mean PLL sick, whatever. It just didn't show out at all last week. Back to what we were saying about the sport that did start miking up players. It just an incredible inning, probably the best I've ever seen from an MVP. Shane Bieber, cannot say anyone's ever deserved an MLB All-Star Game MVP more. Absolutely shut down the National League, embarrassed everybody, electrified the crowd. People are still buzzing all around the country from that inning. It's I'm pretty happy, and I mean, he's got to feel like he really earned that MVP, huh, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean that graphic of just like when he won the MVP, it just said struck out the side in the 5th inning. It's just the most hilarious stat line for MVP. But you can't really argue it because no one really did anything crazy. Like I think most people thought it would be Gallo. He hit the game-winning home run. It came in pinch hit 1-for-1. But Bieber to strike out the side for Brantley, Bieber struck out the side in his hometown. It was cool. The crowd was going. And like if you have an excuse to give it to the hometown guy, you might as well. Also, I'm a big Justin Bieber guy. I know they're not related, but you gotta support all the Biebers in this case. So I'm not too mad about it. He did strike out Wilson Contreras in his 1 inning, so
yeah,
no butthurt, but whatever.
Yeah, speaking of Wilson Contreras and others, I love the Indians faithful were booing like 90% of other players, especially let's see, it was Cubs they booed mostly, Yankees, especially Aroldis Chapman, Tigers. We still hate Tigers for some reason, even though like the worst team in baseball. We are a pretty salty fan base, and I liked it. But my question to probably just Ryan, I don't know if Kevin, you watched literally any of what happened at the All-Star break. It seemed like Cleveland was like a pretty great host, right? Like I was just praying for good weather, and we got good weather, but it seemed like everything went well.
Yeah, it was a really good All-Star game in my opinion. Like home run derby being good helped it. The weather was perfect. It was a really good atmosphere. The booing, like it was weird, but I guess I get it. Like you can hold a grudge over the team, although like the Cubs players they booed aren't even that hateable, and they should honestly applaud Aroldis Chapman because he tried to give them the World Series. So that although in I guess the ALDS the next year not as great.
Yeah, and he also pitched the
yeah,
next inning in
really
the
good
World
All-Star
Series
game.
that
I think
year.
one of the best. Yeah, that's true. But overall, I was very happy with the All-Star game this year. It was like the first, like I always watch All-Star game, but I was very interested in this one for some reason. I think overall it was just good.
Yeah, you were like super into it beforehand. You're like, God, I love baseball. Like when they were doing the national anthem, I was like, I love it too. But like, I don't know, like what has got you on something tonight. But yeah, it was fun to watch. So now that actually, I don't really know when this is gonna be posted because we're so different in time now. That it'll be up either Thursday or Friday. So the second half is starting. There's one game on Thursday, and then all the games on Friday. So it's time for the second half. I have some second half predictions questions, and then we'll get into specifics. So my first one is more likely to make the playoffs, and this includes the wild card game. This includes just like anything making the playoffs, making the postseason in general. The Washington Nationals or the Cleveland Indians, the two hottest teams of the last 2 weeks.
I'm gonna go with the Nationals just because like I think at the beginning of the season they were a pretty trendy pick to actually be like a World Series team, and then they were just awful. But the lineup is decent when you look at it. Anthony Rendon is very good. Trey Turner, they got enough hitters to be well, and then the rotation is like pretty nasty. Like you got Scherzer, Strasburg, and Corbin as your top three, and then Anibal Sanchez is like not a bad fourth this year. So the Nats are like pretty good, and also the NL East is pretty trash. Like the Phillies have just done absolutely nothing and fell apart. The Braves, I'll be honest, I forgot about the Braves for a split second there. They're very good. But I think the Nats have an easy route to a wild card spot, at least at this point. They've been playing really well and are really hot. And I mean, if you think about them in the wild card game, I don't know who's going to beat Max Scherzer in one game. So that's pretty tough.
Bryce Harper, pretty salty.
Yeah, Harper's Phil's pretty bad. Good analysis, Kev. The NL is like pretty. It's kind of like the AL, where like you have a pretty clear leader in every division right now. The only two divisions in all of baseball that seem to be up in the air whatsoever are the NL Central and then maybe the AL Central because the Indians are hot. But in the NL, the Nats do a pretty clear path to a wild card because, like we said, the Central, everybody's beating each other up. The West, everybody sucks other than the Dodgers. In the East, everybody just genuinely sucks. So I will say the Nationals as well. And then with your team, Ryan, I mean, are you scared of anybody else in that division? I mean, the Cardinals are 2 games behind the Cubs, 1.5 behind the Brewers. I just put Cubs and Brewers in that. But what's the shakeout? I guess 1 through 4 because Pittsburgh's only 2.5 back as well.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea who's going to win that division because the Cardinals are still like close at this point. We got Joe Alardi coming through mid-podcast live here.
No way.
Huge development as the Yank himself coming from the O's facility. Joe,
Hey.
Postseason predictions we're doing here. Ryan, about to trash talk the Twins. I can already feel it.
Literally,
Here's
not,
the deal.
not even close.
Right
trash.
now, if the season ended, all of our teams would be in.
That is true.
Which
That is very true.
Including the
actually-
Twins,
Right. Well, yeah,
obviously,
obviously.
because
I mean,
they're way better than Indians.
They're-
Okay. Yeah, but I wasn't even talking about the Twins at all. To finish on the NL Central, I don't know who's good. I think the Cubs and Brewers are like the clear best 2. Noah, your Cardinals, I think, are still dangerous. Your Pirates are also kind of
What on earth
dangerous
about the
as well.
Dodgers?
We're just talking about the NL Central.
Oh, I was like,
But
dude,
honestly, my
NL.
sleeper team is the Reds. I don't know what they're doing, but like they're good, and they just like beat every team in the NL Central. So if they find themselves close, I don't know.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how every team in that division is within 4.5 games of each other, whereas like the last place teams in other divisions, a la Baltimore Orioles, are 30.5 games back of the leading team in that division. Like every team is at least 20 games back, pretty much. Like the last place team, and that is 4.5 back. So that is going to be a pretty wild race down the stretch, and then. So I'm going to call this like the 2018 Indians question, where like both these teams essentially have the division locked up. They seem to be like the 2 best teams in baseball, the Dodgers and Yankees. Who is the most likely to kind of do what the Indians did last year and kind of choke and then stumble into the playoffs and just have like no momentum?
Dodgers.
I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, I guess I would say the Dodgers too, because I think even though the Yankees are kind of slowly running away with the division, they have enough competition with the Red Sox and Rays and other teams that they will still compete in the second half, and they kind of still need to figure some things out, especially on the pitching side. The Dodgers are just so dominant that they have to get bored at some point and like sleepwalk. They like honestly at some point they're just gonna be like, okay, we're going to the World Series for the 3rd straight year. We're so good, and they honestly probably will because they're so good. But they're the team that could fall asleep at some point.
All right. Well, we are welcoming another baseball analyst here, Joe Hilardi, back in the house. I have one more baseball topic. So Joe, I guess we'll go to you this one, or go to you here first for this one. Does Bryce Harper and the Philadelphia Phillies, do they make the playoffs this year?
Honestly, all the bad vibes I get out of Philly, like this whole season, I feel like even if they scrape their way into the playoffs,
I mean, they've been injured.
they're kind of screwed for this year. And I feel like that would be so poetic. Like Harper signs like a basically death sentence in Philadelphia for 13 years and like a major amount of money, and then they can't even like make the playoffs the first year he's there, even though they should have like theoretically the best team in the NL East. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think like more likely your wild cards are going to come out of like the West and Central, but like I don't know. I feel like the Braves have like a hold.
Yeah,
and they're not going to give it up, and then the NL Central will probably just outplay the Phillies.
I think the Braves are going to win the division, and then I think the wild card will definitely be at least one NL Central team. It could be 2, and the Nats have a way better shot, I think, coming out of the NL East than the Phillies. And then the West. I mean, like the Padres aren't that far off, the Rockies and stuff. Yeah, I think the Phillies are going to implode in the second half. Definitely, at some point, it's going to be absolutely hilarious to watch.
When we first started this point, I was going to say for sure the Phillies are making the playoffs, but I've recently changed my mind, probably because you guys are both anti-Phils. So I'm going to go Nationals and Rockies are making the playoffs in the NL wildcard because I don't think 2 NL East teams can. I do think one team in the Central will fall off, which will kind of boost everybody else. Probably the Pirates or the Reds, and that'll kind of help everyone else out because pretty much everyone's like right around 500 right now. But the NL race down the stretch, oh boy, gonna be a fun one. And then that's all I have on baseball. I had some other stuff, but my God, this lag is so hard to argue baseball with. So I want to go to game show, and here the lag is kind of even. The lag is pretty even because you guys hear me at the same time. So here we go. And I say this every time, like I brag on my questions and everything, but like get ready, gentlemen. Get ready. Okay. So in the NFL today, this is question 1. We heard Melvin Gordon complaining a lot about how he wants Melvin Gordon wants a new contract or he wants to get traded, some crap like that. So my question is, wait till I finish again. Who is the highest paid NFL player going into next season that is not like a defensive lineman or pass rusher or a quarterback?
I have no idea. I'll just guess.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell.
No.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes, Kev. There you go.
You'll give him that one.
I kind of did.
Joe / Kevin in the lead.
Counts nonetheless. All right. This one is just some cold hard research. All right. Who is the only NBA team that currently has 2 players that are in the top 100 all time in scoring?
All right.
Yeah.
Rockets?
Yes, Kev. Oh my God, this is impressive. Harden and Paul.
Joe doubted me on that one. Joe /
All right. Whoever clearly buzzes in first, you don't need to wait for me to be like, yeah, you, because it would take another like 10 seconds for you to even hear me say yes. So you just go for it. All right. Kevin is up 2-0. So one more, he wins. All right, this one was kind of crazy to me. Which NBA team as of today has the highest payroll heading into next year? Yeah, Kev.
Nets?
Not the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to drop a hint now because if there's a lot of back and forth here, it's going to be bad. This team did not make the playoffs last year and is not going to make it next year.
The Grizzlies?
Why would the Grizzlies have the highest payroll? No.
That's what Joe told me.
Yeah, you moron.
No.
You just call me a moron.
Sorry, I felt mean.
Did not make the playoffs. Will make it this year. I'm going to say the Phoenix Suns. No, that's a very stupid answer, but I already said it. So, Ryan.
Okay. No, not the Suns.
This is the Hornets.
You might just have to fast forward to the answer. It's not the Hornets. You might have to fast forward to the answer so like one of you sounds super smart and like when it's actually edited. Okay, they're in the Eastern Conference, so Ryan, that part you got right. They're in the same division. I'll give you this. They're in the same division as the Chicago Bulls. I doubt you know where divisions are.
Pistons?
They made the playoffs.
Oh, they did.
Come on, this is embarrassing now. You serious?
No, they made the playoffs. Come on, no. Let me.
This is so bad. I'm not gonna tell you.
Flint, Michigan Tropics.
I'm trying to think of teams.
Just think of it geographically, guys. Who is around Chicago that plays basketball?
The Cavaliers.
Yes, the Cavaliers. Oh my God, unbelievable.
They have the right payroll.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah, what-
paying so many people.
Who are they?
Oh,
They're paying Kevin Love.
okay, no,
Thompson,
Kevin.
J.R. Smith.
I am happy you asked because I had for my NBA point. One of them was going to be the Cavs are going to win the championship in 2021, and it's because next year they still have to pay Kevin Love like $31 million, but they're getting Tristan Thompson, who's getting 18.5 off the books. JR 15.7, Brandon Knight 15.6, Jordan Clarkson 13.4, John Henson 10, and Matthew Dellavedova 10. All of them are off the books next year, so they're just paying so many bad people because they got draft picks from it. So yeah, they have the highest payroll. Ryan, I guess you're technically still in this after that bloodbath of a question. Okay, Todd Gurley was talking today about how the pay gap between the NFL and NBA, whatever, stupid. He led the league in rushing touchdowns last year with 17. Who was second?
Saquon Barkley.
Incorrect.
Wow.
This kind of surprised me too.
Quarterback.
Melvin Gordon.
No, but good guess.
Yeah, I'll get Zeke, but I feel like it's not that.
It's not Zeke. Come on, he's in that. That's the right conference.
Ooh, gotta be.
Wait, who's the? Is it Blunt? Who's the Eagles back?
No, it might be.
He wasn't on the Eagles last year.
Who's the Redskins?
Come on.
You guys have terrible NFL knowledge. This
Definitely
is
not Redskins
awful.
running back. No, I know that.
These are kind of hard questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, Noah.
Okay. Okay. Think about like fantasy. Like this guy's definitely a top 3 pick in fantasy this year.
Christian McCaffrey.
No, but that is another good guess.
I'm gonna say East.
No, he said right conference, so it's NFC.
Oh.
I was thinking division. We were thinking division.
Yeah.
Joe Kevin team.
He's a top 3 pick. Then it's got to be. Does Kev have to guess?
No.
All right,
No,
Kamara?
you can just shout it out. Yes, Alvin Kamara. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're even 2-2. All right.
Second guess your.
Okay, this one, pretty. The last one, also a salary type question. As far as career earnings, who is the highest paid NFL player ever? It's not a trick question.
Ever?
Yeah,
Tom Brady. No, it's definitely not Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers.
not Aaron Rodgers.
Drew Brees.
Not Drew Brees. But you're like, come on, like.
Tom Brady?
No,
Who's
I
that?
mean, I feel like one of you can get this in the next like 2 guesses. It's just a matter of who.
Not Eli or Peyton or Phillip.
I was gonna guess Peyton.
Philip Rivers.
Not Philip Rivers. That was a wonderful
Peyton
sequence.
Manning.
Yeah, it's Peyton Manning. 248.7. Kev, you really
Really?
choked
I
that
didn't-
one away, my guy.
I don't really remember.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
start. Poor second half finish.
Chris
you guys-
Long.
You guys have a wonderful second half of the podcast.
All right, no, we'll have you on.
Wait. Pause. I think like the lag is bad, but with baseball, at least on our end, no, it wasn't that bad. Like if you want to stay for basketball.
Okay, good, because I have a lot of basketball stuff. I mean, it's terrible
Yeah,
for
I think
me.
we'll just say like, I'll edit out the lag after, but it doesn't like there's a pause, but it doesn't sound awful.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm staying, and we're talking basketball. I have a lot of talking points here, and it's going to get pretty argumentative. So hopefully, I will keep myself from butting in a lot. We'll start with the biggest free agent, Kevin Durant. Obviously, went to Brooklyn. This seems like so late now. So the craziest thing with Kevin Durant, Kyrie to me, is how like I forget the NBA player that said. I think it might have been like Bobby Portis or something that said like everybody in the NBA knew that they were going to Brooklyn last year. It's just like the media and everybody else didn't know it. That, for one, is crazy to me. And then two, I feel like Dan Gilbert is saying this, but I am like positive that they are not going to win a championship with KD and Kyrie on that team.
You go.
I wouldn't be so sure. They have a lot of good young pieces, I think. And like Dinwiddie, LeVert, those kind of players that can come off the bench. Like, yeah, they got their two guys and paid them big, so they're kind of limited. But to me, they still have that kind of depth for the next 4 years.
Yeah, I was looking at someone like posted their roster to open the season this year without Kevin Durant, and it looks pretty damn good. Like, obviously, I'm going to factor in the fact that Kyrie kills every team he touches recently, but still, I think at some point they probably are going to win a championship. I could see it happening very much so. But I don't know if I buy that they were always going to Brooklyn thing. That just doesn't make sense to me that people knew this for a year.
Especially Bobby Portis. He can't act like he's in the inner circle. Especially when he's
I'm not
punching
100%
people
sure
in the
it
face.
was Bobby Portis, but name just kind of rings a bell. What's going on here, Ryan? Look like something crazy was going on over there.
Joe wants to say
Joe wants
something
to say
very
something.
bad.
Okay, fine,
No,
Joe.
it's not
Butt in.
very bad. I don't want to say. I just wanted to say
He's
this
very
real
badly
quick.
want to say something.
Real quick. How on earth did everybody know for a year, yet Kevin Durant couldn't even like announce it on his own before it got out in like a matter of like 3 hours?
Because he was like
You know what I'm
timing it.
saying?
Maybe that's it. Maybe Rose does everything the year before and holds it.
I don't know. All I know is it's a
Genius.
crazy situation. I was very surprised by it. But as far as a team I think might win a championship before them moving forward, it's the team he was essentially got a sign and trade for, and that's his old team. I am so high on the Golden State Warriors next year. Like, I would put them probably third, maybe second for title odds next year. I don't see how everyone's just like completely dismissing them. If Clay comes back and is remotely healthy, I feel like they are definitely the favorite in the playoffs. Steph and D'Lo, obviously an incredible backcourt. I think D'Lo can just like absolutely take off even once more, playing with Steph and in that system under Steve Kerr. Draymond's still there. He's going to flourish without KD. They added some more depth. Kevin, I don't understand why you're laughing at me. This is like a very reasonable take. I've hated this team for so long, but I think everyone is dismissing them. They're a pretty similar team to what they had before Kevin Durant came. Obviously, Clay's injured. We don't know what he's going to be, but given the possibility of him playing in the playoffs, I would pick them over any team in the NBA to win a title.
So, I'm laughing because, Ryan, do you want to know how to make a perfectly crafted Noah take?
How?
2 ingredients. 1, disagree completely with whatever the media is saying. 2, take it to the most extreme that you can. No, you didn't even most extreme, but pretty close, that they're third favorites to the title. Now, I agree that media has been overhyping how bad they're going to be, but I really love the D'Lo signing too, but they sacrificed a lot of depth, and that's not good.
Yeah, I would also say like I like D'Lo as well, and you have Steph and Draymond, maybe Clay, but like a lot of their key was like some of their role players. Andre Iguodala gone, Quinn Cook was pretty decent down the stretch. He's gone. Sean Livingston they waived, so like I just don't know who the other players are going to be that are going to help them, and like maybe they find some randoms, but I think the Warriors will be good and contend for a title, but you're too high on them.
I forgot they were forced from Kevin Durant to give away 2 picks essentially and sign Shabazz and some other no name from the Nets. So like they still have no bench and they're sacrificing their future too. So
yeah,
bad
I
offseason.
honestly completely forgot that they lost Iguodala. All those other names, I was like, whatever. But then you said Iggy, and I was like, word. That matters a lot. So, like, maybe not third, but I am higher on them than everyone else thinks, especially if they get Clay back, like I said. healthy, like at least like 70-80% of what he can be in the playoffs. I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of them, but I think they're gonna be pretty damn good next year. Conversely, everyone's super high on the Clippers, and like I get it, it's like a new fun team, but they traded so much for Paul George. So like Danilo Gallinari was a damn good 4. Gilgeous-Alexander was a really, really fun rookie. 4 picks. And Paul George, like you guys know, I've stanned Paul George for a while now, but like what has he shown to make you think he can be like a top 2 player on a championship level team? Like he has negative clutch. He's obviously been injured in the past. I don't really think that like, and I don't really know how that would mesh with him and Kawhi. Like I said, they gave up a lot. They're paper thin now. I get why everyone's like high on them, but not like the number 1 team by like a clear cut margin.
Yeah, I don't think I'm as like I don't think they're the favorite. I really don't know who I would have as favorite. I don't also know how Kawhi and Paul George are gonna mesh together. It seems weird. Seems one that I would have never pictured together. So I'm not really sure how it'll go. I'm just like stuck on like the fact that like Kawhi, Paul George, and Patrick Beverly is gonna be like really good defensively. 3. I don't even know who their other 2 stars are gonna be, but like I'm just sold on the fact that those 3 are gonna be really good defensively.
Okay, Kev looks like
Yeah, it's gonna be Zubac and Lou Will and Montrezl coming off the bench still. Like you can't count this team. You can't say they're paper thin when they're clearly not. Landry Shamet, dude, lethal from deep. But honestly, what else was I say? I forget. But Paul George as a number 2 is just such a good option. Career high in points last year. Just looked unstoppable at times on both ends of the floor. So I 100% disagree with that take. Sure, he doesn't have the clutch gene, but guess who does? His fellow line mate in Kawhi. So, yeah.
Are you telling me, Kev, you would rather have like? I think the debate now is like, what's the better duo, LeBron and AD or Kawhi and PG? And to me, it's clearly the Lakers side of that. And I like the Lakers, the rest of the team, possibly more because, in my opinion, the Clippers can run 6, maybe 7, 8 deep in the regular season, but mostly like 7 in the playoffs. But the Lakers have like a pretty good amount of players that are backups at almost every position. So I think the Lakers are deeper and they have a better top 2. So that alone is one team that I think is better. And then in the East, Milwaukee's still there. Toronto's bad now, but Brooklyn, you said, is going to be good. We'll see what happens with KD. Your Sixers, we'll get to them in a minute. But, I mean, would you pick the Clippers over every other team as their favorite right now?
No, I agree with you. I would probably go with the Lakers as well. I like LeBron and AD. I like what else they have. I think Quinn Cook was a really good signing. Jared Dudley's a good piece. I like the Lakers' depth a lot more. So, like, I would go with the Lakers as Kev Sheets.
And second part of that, would you take them over other teams?
The Lakers? I just said they were my favorite.
Okay, so you're both wrong. How do you take KCP, Rondo? Maybe so Kuzma coming off the bench, very cool. He can be 6th man of the year.
He's gonna come off the bench.
Because I think it would be a cool idea. Think of the starting lineup if he does come off the bench. It's going to be Rondo, but LeBron might go to the point then. A lot of moving pieces there. New coach. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Rivers system good. Good bench still intact. Shamet from deep. Give me it all day. I don't think the Lakers want the smoke. You know what I mean?
Okay. The
as for like other teams.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I don't think he has anything left to say.
Just I got it. Whatever.
Okay. Insider info. There's like 0 Clipper fans in the world. Like I'm have not seen one. It's all Laker fans. They're kind of running the city, if you will. And they're ticked that the Clippers got PG and Kawhi, both people they wanted. But whatever. They're just being ticked for no reason. And also similarly to how I forgot Iguodala was off the Warriors, seems like y'all kind of forgot Boogie is on the Lakers, which could be absolutely huge. He says he's 100%. So that's pretty big. They got to get Rondo off that team somehow. I don't even consider him in the depth. I consider him a negative asset. Kev, I'll let you go to Sixers because I have a bunch of other things here that we'll just get to quickly. But I cannot wrap my head around, for the life of me, this Al Horford signing. Like, I guess I kind of get the idea that they were trying to go towards, where it's like, oh, we're going to go big. We have depth now. We're getting some protection for Embiid, but it seems like you kind of agreed with me on the last pod where, like, you would have rather given that money to somebody else.
Yeah, 100% correct. 4 years, $109 million to Al Horford. A lot of Sixers fans are like trolling the Celtics, saying that we've appreciated all this time, and they're just being sarcastic because he does not deserve all that money. I would have loved to pivot to someone else in free agency. People argue who else was available, going with the big rotational kind of lineup, switch on everything, very good defensively. Lineup would be good, and I don't know. I disagree. I think we're going to struggle on offense, and these off-season moves are very burgeoning for the future. Restrictive deals that we're overpaying Tobias, overpaying Al, and now about to overpay Ben. So
yeah, stinks.
that's just going to sacrifice that. And yeah,
I have a perfect deal for you, Kev, by the way. So what the Sixers needed was a 4 who could shoot, not a 5 who can't shoot, because they already have Embiid, who pretty much does that. He can shoot a little bit, but he's not like a great shooter. So it's a 3-team deal, right? Al Horford goes to some third team. I don't know what team that is or what they give up. Kevin Love goes to the 76ers. No, I don't. Just shut up, and you got to let me finish here. Kevin Love fits in perfectly. He's super expensive, which you guys love. He's a 4, and he can shoot, which are 2 things you need. I don't get how that is not a perfect trade for the Sixers. And then Al Horford will go to like some team like the Nuggets or something. They'll be like, oh, that's sick, with like him and Paul Millsap, like an all Hawks reunion. So I feel like I just kind of solved the Sixers problem. I feel like Kevin Love would fit in well. The Cavs are trying to get rid of him. There you go.
Al Horford, and like players like Giannis for some reason, and Kevin Love switching on players is just a nightmare.
Wait, who are the Sixers giving to the Cavs?
Cap relief.
We're giving Horford to another team.
Oh, and
the Cavs don't want Horford. We just want to get Kevin Love off the books. So, I mean, obviously very hypothetically speaking, but like we would trade Kevin Love for like a 2nd-round pick or something, so we could just get him off the books. Some other team that's trying to win could get Horford. We could literally be paying nobody next year other than Larry Nance and Cedi Osman and 5 rookies. And I mean, it's a win-win-win. So you're welcome.
All right, so pivoting to another subject, Noah. Let me hear what you think about this whole Russell Westbrook situation. I think he gets traded to the East. Don't know what team, but my favorite rumor that I've heard is him going to DC and them absorbing John Wall's huge contract, and even though that he's out for this year, and them tank this year.
Wait. How would the Wizards tank if they got Russell Westbrook? I'm so confused.
Thunder would.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's genius. I think the Thunder need to completely blow it up. I heard one rumor that I'm not sure the validity of it because somebody else told me. I didn't see it online or anything. But this is kind of like an eye-opener. And at first, it's like, that's so stupid, but it actually kind of makes sense. Apparently, before the Paul George trade happened, the Thunder literally offered Paul George and Russell Westbrook to the Raptors straight up for Pascal Siakam, just to completely try to start over. The Raptors said no because, in my opinion, and I think most NBA GM's opinion, Russell Westbrook is literally a negative asset. Like, I would not trade anything for him. Like, even if you gave my team Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick for like a second-round pick, I would straight not take him because I don't know how much better he makes a team trying to compete for a championship. He's getting paid like $40 million the next 3 years and like $45 million in the last year of his contract when he's like 32 years old. I do think he's going to get traded, but whatever team he's going to, they're not going to win anything. If it's the Heat, I mean, come on, Dion, the 1, 2, 3 of Russell Westbrook, Dion Waiters, and Jimmy Butler is just terrible. So yeah, I mean, he's getting traded, but it's gonna be a mess wherever he goes.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna ruin what I mean. That's like the problem is like people keep saying there's not even a market for him. Like no team wants him, and the Thunder only want to trade him if they don't have to give up another asset, which no team would do. So I mean, it's just like crazy. Like Russell Westbrook has been like an all-star and like a well-known NBA player, but we all know like he doesn't work on any team. Like if he could just play, like if there's just 5 Russell Westbrooks on a court and like they just made a team, like he'd probably have better success than him having to try and play with other people.
Interesting take. I don't know how 5 Russell Westbrooks would do on a team. But I saw like a graphic there, Dave, like the players that they've had in like the Russell era and that he's kind of run out of town or they've traded. Freaking Kevin Durant, James Harden, Victor Oladipo, Paul George, Serge Ibaka, Nick Collison, my boy, among others. It's unbelievable the amount of talent they've had and still not won a championship. So yeah, in my opinion, pretty negative asset. I have one other basketball question. If you guys had to say right now, would the Pelicans make the playoffs? As I quickly switch to that.
What? We missed a word there.
Would the Pelicans make the playoffs?
Pelicans.
Ooh.
I think Pelicans get close to the playoffs. I think 10 max.
Yeah.
It's not max.
Also, I'm like worried at this point that if Zion just keeps getting super minor injuries, like they're just going to keep shutting him down for like ever because they're afraid that he's just going to get hurt more. And before you know it, he just hasn't played in 6 years.
Well, everyone does that in summer league.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he like gets hurt day one, they might be like, okay, well, no need to push it. Like he's our future. And he just never plays.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a bit worrisome if that does come true. But otherwise, I'm kind of standing the Pelicans. I kind of like the lineup and the talent they've built. David Griffin. I feel like he just kind of does these like simple moves, and then you're like, all right, word, he's a genius. And it's just like other GMs for the most part are idiots. The NBA is one league where I feel like a lot of people on the street could compete with NBA GMs as far as the trades that are made. The NFL and MLB, I don't believe at all. But NBA trades seem so incredibly stupid sometimes. Kevin, you look like you got something to say on that.
Right, but it's also because they have zero to little power with how much power the players are getting these days, and they're kind of dictating everything. The GMs are just getting left.
Okay, very true. Deep, good point there, Kev. I don't really have anything else on basketball. I had a few other quick points, but with the delay, it's kind of tough to get to everything. Quickly can hit on 2 lifestyle points. LAFC has the best fans for any sport and team I've ever seen in my entire life. They are maniacs, and I need to somehow get in the one section where they all cheer. I don't really know how to do that or how to get tickets, but I will do it before I leave. And then also, I have a really addictive personality, and I've held out from watching TV shows for a while. But now that I have Spotify and thus Hulu and Amazon Prime, and the people here have Netflix, I am just all I do is watch TV all day. So Stranger Things I've kind of busted through, and Legion hour-long episodes I've watched like 8 in the past 2 days. So yeah, my life is a mess, but I've been watching a lot of TV. That's kind of sick.
Not, your life's not a mess. It's like welcome to society. This
Right.
is what we
Welcome
do.
to the club.
This is what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I You
TV
guys will
stands
like
for
be
this.
like, I'm like watching like this show. I'm like, bro, you were just watching that show. But now I kind of get like this is just like what life is. Yeah.
This, like, God put us, or maybe whoever put us on this earth
Shut up.
did it for this sole reason of watching TV.
Okay. I mean, maybe. Yeah, but super into Stranger Things. Have you guys both finished it?
No,
Yes.
no. And Kevin will not talk about it because he is so close to spoiling everything for me every time he opens his mouth.
Very close.
How far into it are you, Ryan?
I have like 4 episodes left.
Oh, word. I have 2 left in season 2.
Can you believe that?
I don't know what you're mouthing to me. I have 0 idea what you're mouthing to me. I will say this though. You guys know that I've definitely said this like a million times to both of you and like other people that like I've never cried from a TV show or movie, but I cried. I'm not gonna say from what, because for the people that are still have not watched, I recommend you do watch. At the end of season 1, when like a big thing happened. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I cried. It was like mad intense.
Yeah, you can spoil season 1. Like that's you're new to this, but the rules are you can spoil after a given amount of time.
Well, okay. After they brought after they brought Will back, and then Winona Ryder, whatever her name is, Joyce and Hopper were like bringing it back, and they were so emotional, and I was getting so into it, dude. I was just sitting there like 2 p.m. on like a Tuesday, and I was just like went to my room and contemplated life for like an hour, and I was like, this is what it's all about right here.
Yeah, bro. If you don't get emotionally invested in a show that has nothing to do with you, you're doing it wrong.
I know. That's what like people are saying, like, oh my god, I cried this. I'm like, you're so soft. But like this ish got me. And it's just like a very, very good show. I don't know anybody that started watching it that's like been able to stop. Even our cold hearted friend James Mahoney, who I never thought would get into it, is pretty locked in. I mean, he's like blazed through the whole show basically in like a 3-day span. So props to him for that.
Yeah, I think he might lap me soon, which is pretty impressive. Friend of the podcast, Rhea, does not like it, and she said it's too scary, which is pretty astounding because I hate horror and I can do this. Whatever, not to brag.
Same boat.
Yeah, I wanted to tell my mom to watch it, but she gets scared of like anything. Like Get Out was like the scariest movie of all time to her. So I was like, it's probably not the best idea to recommend this to you. But I get it if you think it's a little scary. Probably a little baby, kind of like me, where I was like 15 and couldn't watch Night at the Museum because of the skeleton T-Rex. But I've gotten over my fears. Also, shout out friend of the podcast, James Mahoney. Looks like he just got some sort of new car. So that's pretty big news for him. And yeah, I'm also, well, not like yet, but like hopefully at some point in like the not too distant future, going to go car shopping. So if any of you have any recommendations, I'm interested. Yeah. Other than that, pleasure talking to you boys on like a 10-second lag.
Likewise.
It's our first podcast on Kev Standard Time. It was pretty sick.
Kev Standard Time. What's this?
Because sometimes he's on a little delay.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I feel like I was on like Kev Square today out in LA. But yeah, this was good.
Relatable.
Just I think I forgot to mention this in baseball. Hugest series of the year starting tomorrow. Indians Twins. Kev, we're locking in, baby. This lead for the Twins will either be 2.5 games, 4.5 games, 6.5, or 8.5. And by God, I swear, if it's 2.5 or 4.5, I'm coming back to College Park and popping you in the nose because I'm gonna be so excited. So roll Tribe, baby.
I'm back. Go Twins.
Roll Tribe.
Also, F.U. Koscielny.
No idea what that is. See you, everybody.
All right, I'm gonna stop this.